And vengeance. But looking at the stats so far compiled by both these teams, you'll see that the Philippines wins with good defense. In the last victory against Japan, the Philippines was outscored from the free throw line 27-5. Can you believe that? A 22-point difference from the free throw line. Plus, the Philippines was minus 12 in rebounding to Japan. But the Philippines managed to hold Japan to just 28.4% from the floor, and that was key. Plus, of course, more assists, 16-3. Now here's the starting five for Korea.
Jung Sung Kim, Seo Kim Oh, Yang Hee Jung, and okay, no, ang bilis naman nun, ano? But here's the starting lineup for the Philippines. Of course, Kerby Raymundo, Asi Taulava who played well last night. James Yap, Willie Miller, and Arwind Santos completes our starting unit.
Hindi ko yata nakita yung pangalan ni Han, no? Doon sa starting lineup ng Korea.
Mukhang he's coming off the bench.
He's come off the bench. We're talking about a 7'3", 310-pound giant ng Korea who played 2 years in the NBA. But one player who is starting is a 6'9" player, and his name is Kim Ju Sung. Now, he and Bang Sung Hyun are the only holdovers from that 2002 Asian Games gold medal team from South Korea. Remember, South Korea, after beating us on that buzzer-beating triple in the semifinals, went on to defeat China in the Asian Games and grabbed the gold. Number 13 player, also a key player for South Korea. And here we go.
O.C. Kun, that's number 13, and Philippines in immaculate white, Korea in dark blue. Open shot there for the Koreans as we open hostilities here in the opening period. Remember, these are two undefeated teams in Group A. Koreans moving that ball around, and a baseline drive there by number 12. That is Yang Hee Jung.
Now that's a very typical play from South Korea. They keep the ball around the perimeter. Philippines realizing they have excellent three-point shooters, and that gives an opportunity for someone to come down the baseline because there's an open lane. Players from the Philippines are not defending inside because they're way extended towards the perimeter.
There's JayJay. I'm not ashamed to admit it, but idol ko yan. JayJay.
Well, he's now 44 years old. There were rumors that he was going to make a comeback in this tournament. No. Absolutely no comeback for the 44-year-old JayJay, who, by the way, was not present during the Jones Cup. He was in Las Vegas attending the Korean League import tryouts. So 1 out of 2 free throws there scored by Korea.
Here's Asi Taulava at 15 points and 8 rebounds last night. James Yap for 3. And the score is 1-0 here in the early moments of the opening quarter. Koreans on the attack. Bang Sung Yun gets the ball back on the right side. And Bang Sung Yun looking for an opportunity here. Jo Hing Hung and traveling there, and it's a conversion for number 13 O.C. Kun.
Again, if there is no whistle, the play is not going to be interrupted. So Philippines really must be on its toes defensively.
And there's Jocelyn Yang Yao, head coach of the Philippines. Asi Taulava on the move, blocked there, and the whistle is blown.
A nice pass coming from Willie Miller. See, he's gained a reputation in this tournament. Willie Miller has. So he draws the defense towards him, and that momentarily left Asi Taulava open, but he was challenged there by the Korean player.
Now that was Kang Byung-kyun.
Asi Taulava is sharing top scoring honors for the Philippines so far in this tournament. Both Thoss and Taulava are averaging 13 points a game. That's breaking the ice.
And Asi Taulava makes a second free throw. We're on the scoreboard now. The Koreans on top 3-1 with over 8 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. Another baseline drive and another foul given up by the Philippine defense.
I think Korea is very aware that the Philippines is really extending its defense towards the perimeter. So that perimeter is pretty well shadowed now. So Korea using its quickness to go closer to the basket, realizing the Philippines is way extended in the perimeter.
Kang Bong-yun on the line, wearing jersey number 6, stands 6'4".
Now he's averaging 12 points in the tournament so far. He's hit 3 out of 11 3-point shots.
And so far, a steady start for Korea, leading 4-1. 8.5 remaining in the opening quarter. Here's Arwind Santos. Santos on the right side over to Kerby. And Kerby Raymundo being harassed by the defender, Willie Miller on the left side. 8 to shoot for the Philippines. 6 to shoot. Willie Miller needs to create. Finds James Yap for 3. Second miss by James Yap from Rainbow Country. There's Sonny Thoss underneath. Just couldn't get the putback. Koreans on the run. And a nice fake. And the layup there for number 6, Kang Byun-hun.
The transition basket coming from Korea. But good work underneath the boards there for Korea, preventing the Philippines from scoring up close. Philippines looking a little tight at this stage. I don't think there's any flow yet in their offense.
Arwind Santos needs help. 6 to shoot. Shot clock winding down. Miller with a fake. And invited the contact. But still no field goals for the Philippines so far.
Well, Ose Kyun is called for the foul now. Oh, he's 22 years old, one of the youngest players on the Korean team.
We're still awaiting the entry of the 7'3" giant Ha Seung-jin, who is going to come off the bench. As you look at Willie Miller, the pride of Olongapo. And Willie Miller misses the first free throw, and we had free throw shooting problems last night.
That's right. We were only 5 out of 10 from the line against Japan. But Willie Miller against Sri Lanka had 5.7 rebounds and 5 assists. So he's playing a complete game for the Philippines. Had 10 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists in the win over Japan.
Koreans still on top by 4, 6-2. With 7.5 remaining in the opening quarter. Yang tried to send that ball over to Kang, but Kang Byun-hun couldn't handle the leather, and so the ball goes back to the Philippines.
Also good defense by James Yap. He distracted his man, and when the ball came, that man wasn't looking at where the ball was. That was player number 13, if I'm not mistaken.
Here's Miller. Philippines looking for its first field goal in the game. James Yap on the move, and there's a putback by Kerby Raymundo. So that's our first field goal of the game, and we're within 2.
And coming off a miss. Now, good job there going for the offensive rebound. It's important that the Philippines establishes that it can also get those offensive rebounds.
On a nice drive there by number 12, Yang Hee-jung. He's one of the key players of Korea. And the lead is back to 4. Now here's Arwind Santos with a spin. Kerby to Miller for 3. So we're now 0 out of 3 from Rainbow Country.
Now, 3-point shots are not falling for the Philippines. Not yet. Better to miss early than to miss late.
And that's a 3 for Kang Byun-hun. So it's now an 11-4 ball game in favor of the Koreans as we near the 6-minute mark of the opening quarter. James Yap, Kerby, and now Miller with 9 to shoot. And now shot clock winding down. Sonny Thoss on the right side. Back to Miller, 4 to shoot. And Miller, 2 to shoot. Miller has to fire. Try to invite contact, but not enough contact for the referees to blow the whistle. And now we'll see the first appearance of the 7'3" behemoth, Ha Seung-jin.
Well, you notice that when the Philippines tries to score, they're always under time pressure. There's very little ball movement now. The ball is in the hands of the player too long. So I think we need a lot of motion, both player and ball-wise. Now here's the veteran player, Kim Joo-sung. 6'9", going strong to the hole. Fouled not in the act of shooting. So you've got 2 big players now from for Korea on the floor. You've got Ha, you've got Kim Joo-sung. That's number 11, that's Kim.
And that's a foul against Sonny Thoss. I mean, what can you do against Ha Xingjin. Nakikita nyo naman sa inyong mga TV sets, ano? Hindi po special effects yan. Ganyan po talaga siya kalaki.
You know, there's a downside as far as Korea is concerned when Ha is playing, because if the offense is focused towards him, trying to bring the ball to him, then it takes away the three-point shooting of South Korea. But that's an outside shot and missed.
Meantime, here's James Yap. And now Arwind Santos on the move. Santos baseline being bumped around, and
it's a turnover.
It's a turnover, and pero nakita natin.
He was bumped.
Binangga dun si Arwind Santos. With 5 and 14 remaining, Philippines trailing here by 7 points.
You know, two things here for the Philippines, being the underdog in this contest. No, they must limit their turnovers and they must make those free throws. Now, that's very, very important. You need to be able to maximize your possessions, and when you have an opportunity to score extra points from the line, do not miss.
Kim on the move, and outside now to Ju. And there's a whistle blow. Another foul against the Philippine defense. The foul is against Willie Miller.
Now penalty situation in effect. Of course, we know that under Fiba rules, 14 fouls and then you're in the penalty. It's not like in the PBA where 5 fouls will bring you to the penalty. So a lot of different rules here being applied in Fiba as compared to the PBA. For instance, 4 halves are being played, rather 4 quarters, just like in the PBA, but each quarter is 10 minutes long, unlike in the PBA, which is 12.
And now we're seeing the first appearance of Bang Sung-yoon, another of the prolific outside gunners of Korea.
Now he's hitting 52.6% from 3-point distance. 9 out of 18 triples so far in this tournament for Bang.
So we've got a timeout, and we'll be back with more action from Tianjin in a moment.
Powerade lets me play my game my way. Powerade. Sport is what you make it.
I want sweet, I want chili. Smoky barbecue.
Eat to the beat of fun. The new KFC Flavor Shots. Mouth-watering snack of chicken bites drenched in sweet chili or smoky barbecue sauce. Take a shot. The new KFC Flavor Shots.
KFC.
Philippines still trailing here, 13-4. Jared Dillinger is on the move while a whistle was blown.
I think it's important that the Philippines starts hitting from the outside. Just maybe a string of 3-pointers can really get the adrenaline going. But right now, there is no flow, there is no rhythm in the offense of the Philippines.
We've only had 1 field goal so far, courtesy of a Kerby Raymundo putback. Meantime, here's Dillinger, comes off the bench. Kerby for 3. Still no dice from Rainbow Country for the Philippines.
And no second chance opportunity.
4.5 remaining in the opening period. They tried to send that ball over to their 7-3 giant. 6'7" Sonny Thoss doing his best.
And scored a basket. He hardly misses. As I mentioned, he's hitting 90% from the floor. He's now going 10 out of 11 in this tournament. Going to his strong side, using his body to protect the ball. There's nothing that Sonny Thoss can do. Now, Ha is also inviting the double team. He's a good passer. And once that double team comes, either he's going to power his way through that double team or he's going to look for a kick-out option. The amazing thing is that this former NBA player is only 24 years old.
That's so true. Former second-round draft pick by the Portland Trail Blazers, and then went to the NBDL.
Now, if there's a lane violation, they give him another shot. It's probably just like Shaquille O'Neal, can't get the free throws to fall in.
There are always trade-offs in life. Meantime, here's Big Pennisi, now part of the game. Pennisi for three. Yes, sir!
That should give the Philippines a little bit of a lift.
That's our first converted triple of the game.
And Mick Pennisi has now scored 4 triples in the tournament.
And a missed three by Kim Joo-sung. And the Philippines here trying to bounce back in business. We're down by 8. Under 4 minutes remaining in the first. Pennisi on the move. Pennisi missed the layup. And that's a traveling violation committed by Joo Hee-jung.
But you notice what Mick Pennisi tried to do earlier. Now he had Ha all the way outside in the perimeter. Then he drove against him, thinking that Ha might chase him down and commit a foul. I think that's important for the Philippines to put some pressure on Ha, make him play defense, make him commit some fouls, get him out of this game. He's taking up too much space.
Here's Miller. Thoss back to Miller. 12 to shoot for the Philippines. Pennisi for three. And he comes up short that time. And a fast break connection here.
And he missed.
A blown layup by Kim Joo-sung. And a good break, big break there for the Philippines as we approach the last 3 minutes of the opening period.
And that's coming from a veteran, someone who's played in international ball many, many times.
Meantime, here's James Yap. James Yap creates. James Yap with a runner over 7-3. Ha Xing-jin.
That took a lot of guts. You know, Yang Gia was always said that for the Philippines to win games in FIBA, in the FIBA Asia Championships, they'll need not just heart but a lot of guts.
6-point game in favor of Korea, and they go to Ha Xing-jin against Pennisi.
He will miss. Great job there by Mick Pennisi. Didn't give him the angle to score in that baby hook.
Dillinger 1 against 4. You're talking about guts. That's a gutsy move for the daredevil, Jared Dillinger.
That lead chopped down to 4. You see the difference when the Philippines starts to play defense. Pretty good interior defense, if I must say. But again, the drawback of Korea is if they put the ball in the hands of Ha, it takes away their outside shooting, which is good for the Philippines, so long as we can keep Ha in check.
And that's a miss. A long rebound ends up with number 4, Bang Sung-yun. And Bang shopping for a teammate, fires a 3. And that's short. Pennisi with a rebound. Under 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Dillinger! That would have been a great move, but just couldn't finish. And there's a whistle blown here. There's the turnover
against Bang. Now I think Dillinger has the right idea. I mean, don't wait for the Korean defense to set up. Even if he's going up against 4 Koreans, so long as they're not set up and he has a chance to use his quickness in attacking the basket, go ahead. I think he's got the license to do that from Coach Yang.
That's what Cyrus Baguio was doing last night against Japan. Catching them by surprise.
Yes.
And speaking of Baguio, he's now part of the game, joining Miller, Pennisi, Asi Taulava also part of the game, and Dillinger, who has been the man of the moment here for the Philippines.
You know, Miko, I'm reminded by what Miami coach Eric Spoelstra said when he was here, that an undersized team like the Philippines should forget about the handicap of not having the height, but go to the strengths, which is weakness and team play.
Under 2 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. And a missed 3 anew. Rebound for Pennisi. Here comes Dillinger once again. Dillinger will miss. Taulava no go, and there's a whistle blown.
And again, the transition attack of the Philippines. No chance for South Korea to set up. And I think it's a great idea that they're doing because they're leaving the big men of South Korea behind. By the way, the number 15 player who you saw with a little bit of goatee, you see him now with his back turned to you. He's Kim Min-soo. He's half Argentinian. I don't know exactly what his real name is. His father is Argentinian, and his father's name was certainly not Kim. Again, free throw woes here for the Philippines, but you see a little bit of a change of momentum here.
Asi had a big game last night against Japan. Really came to life in the second half. Conspired with Sonny Thoss to really propel Team Pilipinas to victory. Now it's a 15-12 ball game. We're down by just 3 with 1 minute and 3 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Kang on the move, drop pass, and a nice play there for the Koreans, finished by Oh Se-kun.
Also very typical of South Korea, that kind of attack. The drive and draw play, and then the dish.
And there's
Look at
Cyrus Baguio once again.
You know, yun ang tinatawag natin na abilidad ng Pilipino. And that's something that South Korea and many of the other teams in the FIBA Asia Championships, they were always being caught with their pants down.
Still a 3-point game here for Korea, 17-14, and ball stays with Korea. "24 seconds remaining before the end of the opening period. And so far the Philippines, we're right in there. We're keeping in step. And the 3 attempt here, no go. Rebound for Pennisi.
Those 3-point shots are being contested by the Philippines. That's the whole idea of Coach Yang Yao, to contest that 3-point shot.
By the way, JayJay Helterbrand now in the game. 7 seconds remaining in the quarter. Helterbrand to Pennisi. Oh, bad pass. And fortunately, it does not end up, does not end up in an easy layup. But there's still 1 second remaining here in the opening period. And the Koreans will try to write the last sentence of the first chapter. Fake, fires. And that's the end of the opening quarter. Kirita, the Philippines really hanging tough, keeping in step with Korea here, down by just 3 to end the first quarter.
They've made their own storybook endings. Now, it's their time to open a new chapter. Times change, but the brotherhood remains.
That's why you need Apiton Weight Gain with high protein efficiency ratio to help increase protein's ability to increase and increase body mass. It's easy. Apiton Weight Gain to increase body weight from Apiton.
Wow! Ang sarap ng kain nila.
Tingnan mo yung kumakain ng garlic maison. Dude, umuya ka naman.
Yung girl na nag-sweet yakiniku, kala ko diet siya.
Yung kumakain ng spicy teriyaki, may contest ba? They look so happy. We've done our job.
Kaya relax na tayo.
Eto, pa-harp-harp na lang.
Hangout sa clouds.
Koriko! Big beefy goodness in 3 flavors. Tokyo Tokyo Big Balls.
Barcelona Brandy. Hango sa piling-piling mga ubas. Lasapin ang sarap ng Barcelona Brandy. Hinubog sa tradisyong solera. Sa tamis. Sa aroma. Kay sarap inumin.
Swabe ang sarap.
Swabe iyong hahanap-hanapin.
Hi, Philippines. This is the FIBA Asia Championship men's basketball. Live from Tianjin, China. JayJay Helterbrand and the rest of Powerade Team Pilipinas going head-to-head with Korea in this Group A showdown as we open the second quarter. Miko Halili here alongside El Decano, Senor Kenito Henson. And you're watching all the action over CS9 and BTV. And that's a mystery for Helterbrand.
And Nico, low-scoring ball game. This favors the Philippines. You don't want Korea to break out with a big lead. Philippines also cannot afford to just try to outshoot or outscore South Korea, because there's certainly a lot of deadly gunners on the South Korean side. You keep it low-scoring, the Philippines has a chance to win.
Dillinger has been attacking relentlessly since he entered the ball game. No success there.
You know, the problem with Dillinger, while he's been able to get away with those layups, he's not getting the benefit of the whistle. That's really what he wants. He wants Korea to start committing some fouls. A nice spin move there coming from the veteran Kim Joo-soon.
So the lead is back to 5, 19-14 in the early moments of the second quarter. On the floor for the Philippines, Helterbrand, Dillinger, Taulava, Pennisi, and Cyrus Baguio. Here's Dillinger to Pennisi, 7 to shoot, shot clock winding down, 5 to shoot, Helterbrand sends it to Taulava, 1 to shoot, Helterbrand fires and not in time. And the shot was also blocked, so that's a turnover against the Philippines.
A tribute to the defense of South Korea. Philippines using a series of screens on the outside, but South Korea very quick to switch. You know, when you do a pick and roll, someone's got to roll towards the basket. But if you stay around the perimeter, then everybody's going to be covered.
And that's a trip against Dillinger. Jared Dillinger was instrumental in giving the Philippines a lot of momentum towards the end of the opening quarter. And we've got a timeout on the floor. Korea still on top by 5. Back in a moment.
That's why you need Appeton Weight Gain with high protein efficiency ratio to help increase protein's ability to increase and increase body mass. It's easy, Appeton Weight Gain to increase body weight from Appeton.
I'm home! Sorry, matraffic eh.
No worries. 887-8888. Hello, KFC delivery? One mom's bucket meal.
Delivery? I call KFC na.
887-8888.
I have to play hard every day. Start in practice and then bring it in the game. I wanted to win everything, so I think that's the best that I can contribute with the team. We just have to win every game so we can make it to the next tournament.
Playing shooting guard, 5'11", number 11.
My name is Willie Miller. Please support Powerade Team Pilipinas.
The Koreans are ahead here, and we caught the timeout of the Philippines that Yang Yao was really telling his troops that go hard, don't be afraid of contact, you go strong.
I think it's very important because we've been getting away with some incursions. No? We've been getting away with some layups, but we're not going strong enough to be able to get the calls.
5-point ball game here in the second quarter. These are two undefeated teams in Group A. Rebound ends up with Pennisi. Helterbrand. Baguio. Cyrus on the move. Baguio is fouled.
Again, Cyrus Baguio creating the pace here for the Philippines. Now that's what Coach Yang likes.
That's why he got
strong.
Cyrus Baguio.
Yeah.
Now remember, when Cyrus Baguio was named to the initial lineup, eyebrows were raised. Because siyempre alam mo naman ang Pilipinas, no, puro tayo gwardiya no, sa bansa natin, ano, napakadaming talented guards, and people were wondering why Cyrus Baguio was included. Well, I feel he showed last night against Japan why he deserves to be on this team.
Oh, without a doubt. I think he gives a lot of intensity and also pace. People were thinking that he might be too small to penetrate. Sure, that's in a half-court set. But, you know, in the international game, you try to play transition. So you use your quickness to go against the defense before it's set up. Cyrus Baguio may not be able to penetrate in the half-court set. But boy, he can really slash to the basket in the open court. And that's what you want.
Drop pass there. Layup is good for number 15, Kim Min-soo. And Taulava at the post. And Asi.
He lost the handle that time. Good defense by Korea.
Kim Joo-sung with the ball. And, you know, Cyrus, that's what he loves to do. He likes invading those passing lanes and breaking up plays.
You know, sometimes even if you're going for a steal, and if you don't get the steal, so long as you get the deflection, that's already a big thing that you've done because it disrupts the flow of the offensive team's offense.
There is Baguio. Baguio on the move. Off the glass. Couldn't get the angle,
Oh,
but
yes.
there's Asi with a putback slam.
That's important. Presence underneath the basket. Asi Taulava gives us the interior presence.
So just a 3-point game. As we go past the 7-minute mark of the second period, turnover against the Koreans.
Again, the deflection coming from the Philippines.
Helterbrand, Dillinger, and now Pennisi. Here's Baguio. Baguio's been hyperactive here. And a nice move. Just couldn't get the finish, but he got the ball back, and Asi goes up without the leather. A tough break there for the Philippines. And Kim Min-soo converting again back-to-back baskets for the Argentina born and bred Japanese import. And
Korean.
Oh, sorry, Korean import rather.
Well, actually, he's half Korean, half Argentinian.
Meantime, here's Asi. Nice pass. The backdoor play works for Baguio. Has been the man of the moment here for the Philippines.
Oh, Korea can't guard him. The way, the moves that Cyrus Baguio is showing, I'm sure the Korean players don't see too many of those moves in the Korean Basketball League.
Hindi nila maispelengin yung ano niyan, yung galaw ni Cyrus.
Pero Miko, the key is movement without the ball, and that's very, very crucial in the international game. You've got to keep moving. Kanina nakikita natin, no? Kung yung bola na iiwan dun sa labas, and all 5 players from the Philippines are just passing the ball around the perimeter, that defense is just going towards you, and before you know it, mawawalan ka na ng oras in the shot clock.
The Koreans holding on to a 3-point lead, 23-20.
And look at that, nice steal.
Swipe by Gabe Norwood, who just entered the game. Baguio to Helterbrand. Helterbrand goes right, and he was fouled.
Big momentum shift here. You can see that the Philippines is getting the job done defensively. They're forcing turnovers. They're making South Korea miss. And they're taking away also the 3-point shot of Korea.
And you notice only 1 shot opportunities for Korea on offense. Yeah. In the meantime, here's Pennisi. We're down by just 3. The pass was too strong, intended for Baguio. So ball goes back to Korea. They're up 23-20. And you like to believe that because it is not a shootout happening here in Tianjin, that favors the Philippines.
Oh yes, without a doubt. We mentioned that earlier, that a low-scoring game will favor the Philippines because you don't want to engage South Korea in a shootout. There's an outside shot. And we were just talking about shootouts. That's the number 15 player, Kim Min-soo.
And he's waxing hot here in the second period.
Well, he's one of the players whom we mentioned in the pregame who really hasn't shown his potential. In the first 2 games, he wasn't in South Korea's top 5 scorers. But now look what he's doing.
Here's Baguio once again. Sends that ball outside to Norwood. We're down by 6, 26-20. Helterbrand back to Norwood. Norwood missed a jumper moments ago. Pennisi for 3. Almost, but not quite. 4.5 remaining in the first half.
And you notice when Nick Pennisi is taking the shots from the outside and Asi Taulava is not in the game, then nothing can happen in terms of getting the offensive rebounds.
9 straight points put together by Kim Min-soo. And now a cause for concern here as the Koreans match their biggest lead of the game at 28-20.
He's playing center for Korea right now, Kim Min-soo. And here's a turnover against the Philippines. So big momentum shift here. Asi Taulava sitting down on the bench. Philippines losing its presence underneath. And again, talking about losing presence, absolutely no interior defense from the Philippines that time as Kim Min-soo coming in for the uncontested dunk shot.
So 8-point game in favor of Korea with 4 minutes remaining in the first half. And so far, Kim Min-soo has been the man of the moment for the Koreans. And he is the man to stop for the Philippine defense. And a whistle is blown here. Foul against the Philippines. Could be against Cyrus Baguio.
Number 6 player, 6'4", Byung Kang, is averaging 12 points in this tournament. 25 years old.
Sonny Thoss set back in for Mick Pennisi. Willie Miller also back on the floor with Kerby Raymundo.
Looking at this Korean team, Nico, it's a relatively young team. And this team has only 2 players who are over 30 years old. One of them is Kyu Suk Lee, who's 31, and the other one is Hee Young Ju, number 9, who's the captain, who's 32.
A split on the line from Kang Byun-hun. And that makes it a 9-point game. Biggest lead here for Korea. 29-20. Here's Miller. Kerby on the move. Finds Norwood. Norwood could not shoot. Here's Thoss. 7 on the shot clock. Miller for 3. And you can do that.
That's right. That's allowed in FIBA.
You can do that. If it's above the cylinder, you can do that.
After it hits the rim, and it's still above the cylinder, you can bat it away. Same thing on a free throw. If that happened in a free throw situation, you can do that. You can bat it away. That's on the second free throw, not in the first.
technical. Right now, the Philippines trailing here by 9 points. 14 to shoot. Quick post-up move there by number 13, Osekun.
You know, this is the young brigade of Korea now doing a lot of damage. Number 13, number 15 players. Both are very mobile big men.
And this is now Korea's biggest lead at 11 points. James Yap to Kerby. Kerby goes right. And Kerby Raymundo with the drive. And the layup is good. Korea still ahead 31-22. With 2.5 remaining in the second period. They go inside to Kang Byung-hun. And he steps outside with 7 to shoot. And another foul here against the Philippines.
James Yap is going to be called for the foul. And again, we'd like to give our sincerest condolences, of course, to the Aquino family. James Yap, the son-in-law of former President Cory Aquino. I want to give our condolences to James's wife, Chris, our dear friend, Senator Noynoy, Bolsi, Viel.
And you know, the Aquinos, they love basketball. You know, they watch basketball. Even the former president watches a lot of PBA games, not just because of James, but she really was a fan of the sport.
Oh yeah. By the way, I forgot Pinky. You got a sister. Yeah, Mrs. Aquino was a big basketball fan and didn't only follow James's games, but follow all the other games in the PBA. So,
and her grandson Miguel Abellada used to play for the Ateneo High School team, and she would watch all his games. Meantime, we've got 2:10 remaining in the first half. Yang Dong-gun with the leather. 15 to shoot for the Koreans. And a 3 from the corner for number 8. That's Lee Kyu-sup, and he's one of the lethal gunners of the Koreans.
That's right. He's averaging 17.5 points in this tournament. And see the Philippines now beginning to miss. Philippines looking a little bit tired. Coach Yeng Giao is rotating his players a lot to be able to keep the pace at a high level. I thought the Philippines was most dangerous when Asi Taulava was on the floor along with Cyrus Baguio.
You saw a glimpse of Coach JayJay. And if you're over 28 years old, you should know who JayJay is. And on the line is number 8, Lee Kyu-sup.
Yep, we just talked about his average in this championships, and he's back on the floor. Getting a few words there from JayJay.
Right now, Koreans doing damage on the line because of the foul situation of the Philippines. And this is now Korea's biggest lead at 13 points, 35-22. 1 minute and 27 remaining in the first half. Miller with a pull-up. And boy, the Philippines looking for some offensive firepower here in the tail end of the second quarter.
Well, that field goal percentage is really dropping. And the problem is, if the Philippines is not getting in the line and they're not getting the field goals to drop, they're really in trouble.
And back in the opening quarter, we had multiple attempts on the floor, and Ha Xing-jin sending Kerby's attempt back to earth. And here's Kerby. I mean, that's all guts, but Ha Xing-jin is all height. Meantime, here's James Yap for 3. Boy, what a dry spell here for the Philippines with under a minute to play in the second quarter. And that should be an offensive foul against number 8 of Korea.
And that's a turnover. Less than a minute to go here in this half.
So offensive foul against Lee Kyu-sup. We saw him running over Jared Dillinger. So maybe the Philippines can end the first half on a scoring note.
Well, this is a 12-2 run that Korea has engineered. Remember, Philippines was down 23-20 at one point.
And we really needed that three-pointer by Willie Miller. So it's a 10-point game. Back with more action in a moment.
Barcelona Brandy. Hango sa piling-piling mga ubas. Lasapin ang sarap ng Barcelona Brandy. Hinubog sa tradisyong solera, sa tamis, sa aroma, kay sarap inumin.
Swabe ang sarap.
Swabe iyong hahanap-hanapin.
That's why you need Apiton Weight Gain with high protein efficiency ratio to help increase protein's ability to increase and increase body mass. It's easy. Apiton Weight Gain to increase body weight from Apiton.
They've made their own storybook endings. Now, it's their turn to open a new chapter. Times change, but the brotherhood remains.
In Tianjin, China for the FIBA Asia Men's Basketball Championship. Live over CS9 and Basketball TV. Miko Halili here with El Decano, Senor Kenito Henson. And Willie Miller just made a three-pointer before the timeout to break a long dry spell for the Philippines. And so we are within 10 points.
You remember when the Philippines engineered that comeback, what prompted that, what triggered that was a three-pointer scored by Nick Pennisi. That three-pointer is such a big weapon in international basketball.
Half a minute remaining in the first half, and the Koreans taking their time here, managing this 10-point lead, 35-25. And that's a three-point attempt for number 4, and turnover here against the Philippines.
Those miscues are really hurting us. We're not making our free throws, we're turning the ball over, and our field goal percentage is dropping. But remember what happened in the Japan game. We came to life in the third period, and in the entire second half, we dominated and controlled, and we beat Japan. So hold on to your seats, and please, let's all pray together as a nation. Philippines might just still pull this off.
3 seconds remaining in the first half. And that's going to be short, and so the first half ends in a low-scoring first half, which is a good sign for us. But we are down by 10, 35-25 against the favored Korean squad. And so we'll be back with more action from the FIBA Asia Men's Basketball Championship after these messages.
I need a volunteer.
Well, we're looking at highlights from the first 2 quarters in what is essentially a low-scoring affair between undefeated Korea and likewise undefeated Team Pilipinas. The Koreans leading by as many as 13 points in the first half.
You know, Korea was deadliest when they were passing the ball and they were finding the open man. And because of their height advantage, they're able to penetrate the lane, draw the defense, and eventually find someone open to score on a layup.
And let's look at some numbers.
Well, you take a look at the percentages here. From 2-point distance, Philippines only hitting 33%. And from 3-point distance, well, it's not too far from Korea. But look at even the free throws, the disparity wasn't too large. Ang bibilis naman ng nung pagpasok ng mga graphics natin. Pati yung rebound and assist, hindi ko na nakita eh.
Well, ito kita natin. Cyrus Baguio leading the way with 6 points. He was part of that big first quarter run. Right now, our big consolation here is that it's a low-scoring game. It's not a shootout. You know, it's not a rapid-fire shootout, which certainly will favor the Koreans. And so we're down by 10, well within striking distance, and we'll be back with the second half in a moment.
I want sweet, I want chili. Smoky barbecue. Eat to the beat of fun. The new KFC flavor shots. Mouth-watering snack of chicken bites drenched in sweet chili or smoky barbecue sauce. Take a shot. The new KFC flavor shots. KFC.
Barcelona Brandy. Hango sa piling-piling mga ubas. Lasapin ang sarap ng Barcelona Brandy. Hinubog sa tradisyong solera, sa tamis, sa aroma, kay sarap inumin.
Swabe ang sarap.
Swabe ang iyong hahanap-hanapin.
Vitamin A is good for my eyes. Iron, good for my blood. Iodine, good for my brain.
Ngayon, lahat ng yan, meron ng Mr. Donut. Ang donut na may Vita-Do. Kasi sa panahon ngayon, kailangan mapili tayo sa pagkain. Kaya ang Mr. Donut, masarap na, pinalusog pa.
Good, diba?
Mr. Donut, sulit pa.
Mr. Donut, Mr. Donut.
Let's stun the world champions! Somehow trying to get to on the shot clock, LeBron to the rim.
The #1 network and the biggest names in all media, telecommunications, education, information technology, business, research and public service come together in a formidable partnership for one historic election coverage.
We are very, very fortunate that the best of the best are going to partner with us in the biggest and widest, most comprehensive coverage of election 2010.
We are proud to take on the social responsibility of ensuring the integrity of the 2010 election.
Destined to be the biggest, most far-reaching, and most credible Philippine election coverage of all. This is Election 2010.
Introducing Rubbermaid's Refill Reuse Eco-Friendly Chug Bottles. Use it in the gym, while jogging, in the office, in school. And Rubbermaid Chug Bottles are so handy, you can place them in your school bag, in your car drink holder. Rubbermaid Chug Bottles are leak-proof, so you don't have to worry about spills and waste. Made of BPA-free polycarbonate, Rubbermaid Chug Bottle is virtually unbreakable, safe, and eco-friendly. Anytime, anywhere, everywhere. Rubbermaid, America's most admired company since 1934.
Experience world-class basketball action without even leaving your seat. This is your best source for all things great and intense hoop action. Catch up on what's been happening in and around the association. Your hub to everything basketball. Real NBA, nightly at 8. Back-to-back with NBA action at 8:30. World-class basketball action coming only here. on BTV. Can't get enough of women's action lately? Well, here's your chance to get your fix for a real deal basketball. Catch the greatest women's basketball in the world as we bring viewers this WNBA clash.
A kiss for Whalen in the lane. Beautiful!
Driving to baseline on Douglas. Here's the turnaround. Oh, impossible! Probable miracle.
WNBA action. Sunday night at 6. Only on BTV.
Scoring game here. Philippines down by just 10 against Korea, 35-25. Essentially in that second period, our defense held up, but we just couldn't convert on our field goal attempts, really pulling down our shooting percentages, Kinito.
Well, Nico, balikan natin yung statistics na bahagya lang natin nakita kanina. Ang bilis kasi ng pagpasok ng graphics eh. But you know, you're so right. I think we held our own in several departments, particularly in the rebounding department, because Korea out-rebounded us only by 21-20, but it was in the field goal percentage where the disparity was glaring. Ang Philippines, mga kaibigan, shot only 25% from the floor. And that's 33% from two-point distance as against Korea's 47%. But guess what? Korea was 71% shooting from two-point distance. Kanya ang laki ng agwat. If the Philippines only was able to raise its shooting percentage anywhere close to 40%, this lead would not be 10. Maybe the Philippines might even be slightly ahead at this point, because I thought the Philippines held its own defensively, although you have to concede that Korea, to be beaten, must be held to a field goal percentage maybe less than 40%. And that's going to be a tall order for the Philippines. The other thing that the Philippines must work on in the second half is a three-point shot. Philippines hitting only 2 out of 14 from that distance. The Philippines can get going with those bombs, then we can see a different complexion in the second half.
And Kanito and myself and the rest of the CS9 broadcast team will be right back to bring you the second half, Philippines versus Korea here in Tianjin, China.
Icy. Creamy. Chewy. With chunky real bits. Treat yourself to the new KFC Crushers. Get crushed.
That's why you need Appeton Weight Gain with high protein efficiency ratio to help increase protein's ability to increase and increase body mass. It's easy. Appeton Weight Gain to increase body weight from Appeton.
Wow! Ang sarap ng kain nila.
Tingnan mo yung kumakain ng garlic miso. Dude, umuya ka naman.
Yung girl na nag-sweet yaki Nico, kala ko diet siya.
Eh, yung kumakain ng spicy teriyaki, may contest pa. They look so happy. We've done our job.
Kaya relax na tayo.
Just hurting, I think he hurt it. He injured it in a slam dunk situation in a game against Sri Lanka.
So, 10-point game here as we begin second half action. Philippines starting with Pennisi, Gabe Norwood, JayJay Helterbrand, Asi Taulava, and Cyrus Baguio. Baguio leading the way so far with 6 points. Nice drive by Gabe Norwood, just wouldn't drop. Toss with an offensive rebound. Pennisi for 3. Yes, sir!
That's even better. You missed the two-pointer, but you get it back with a three-pointer. Remember, Pennisi triggered that run of the Philippines in the first half with a three-pointer. This could trigger a similar run.
7-point contest here, and 7-3 behemoth Ashing Jin in the game. And that might actually favor the Philippines, ironically. Here's Helterbrand on the move. Couldn't get the reverse layup. And the ball is back with the Koreans.
Too much mustard in that layup. But he had the open lane. But I think the Philippines knows what it has to do now. You see, there's space that's being played here by the Philippines.
Look out! Cyrus, he lost the ball.
And who's fouled? Hope it isn't the Philippines.
And Jay is looking more dapper now.
It looks like it is against the Philippines.
It's against Baguio. Nice swipe there by the Korean defender.
But Korea has missed 2 attempts here, opening the second half. Good defense by the Philippines. Big Pennisi knows how to play defense against this big guy, huh?
Big Pennisi knows how to play defense, period. And there he is. Pennisi against the 7'3" giant.
So he wants to score.
And a miss. One more try.
That's the problem. If he gets off a shot and he misses, you've got to be able to pull down the rebound, because a second attempt by Ha will be a killer.
Missed three by Pennisi. He had one moments ago. So it's 37-28 in favor of Korea.
Nice block there by Nick Pennisi.
Here's Baguio. Baguio in the open court. And I think the Koreans very much aware of what damage Baguio can do when everyone's running.
Well, they want to stop him at all costs, which is fine. Let Korea get into penalty situation early.
And the foul there given up by Kang Byung-hun. Probably saw what Baguio did last night against the Japanese open court defense.
And what he did in the first half. He scored 6 points in the first half.
Here's Helterbrand for three. So back-to-back misses now from Rainbow Country for Power 8 Team Pilipinas. Under 8 minutes remaining in the third period. Open three here. Now that's a miss. Look out. And the ball will stay with Korea.
Looking a little frustrated there. He had opportunities to score. See, the key there is that the big man is keeping the ball alive for a second opportunity.
And again, this ball will go over to Ha Xing-jin. He wants that basketball, but instead they go to Kim
what about
Min-soo.
Yeah, what about that box out by Nick Pennisi?
Look out, Baguio, what a move!
Woo, what an ankle breaker! Cyrus Baguio!
He's becoming one of the more popular players, not just in Group A, but in this tournament. And he pulls the Philippines within 7 points. He had a similar move against Sri Lanka the first day of the tournament. 7 minutes remaining in the third. A quick first step there. They go inside, turn over. Baguio on the move. And Baguio being harassed by the defender. The ball is back with Baguio. And Baguio goes off the glass. Yes, sir! Back-to-back baskets for the pride of Iligan, Cyrus Baguio.
I'll tell you, in this kind of situation, Korea's defense is now going to be focused on Baguio. And once that happens, it's going to open up opportunities for three-point shooters. If only JayJay Helterbrand and Nick Pennisi can be on target from the outside, boy, we're going to be in big business here.
Cyrus Baguio now in double figures with 10 points. And there might be a loose ball foul here against either Pennisi. It is against Pennisi.
Pennisi's holding his own inside. And Coach Yang Giao doing a good job of keeping fresh troops seated on the bench. And then later on, I'm sure we're going to see Asi Taulava on the floor. Once that happens, Ha will probably be all fagged out, being defended by Nick Pennisi.
5-point game in favor of Korea. Oh, that's a three. For number 12, Yang Hee-jong. Meantime, Norwood, Sonny Thoss, he'll take it. Straight but short. And it's an 8-point game for Korea. .13 to shoot. And they go to Ha against Pennisi. Off the glass, no go. Sonny Thoss failing to box out Kim.
Kim might have taken an extra step.
So a new shot clock here for Korea. Kang Byung-hun on the move, nowhere to go. Kang fakes. Shot clock winding down.
4 seconds, 3 seconds. Oh, bailout call. Bailout call.
A tough call against JayJay Helterbrand.
Well, that shot clock was almost out on South Korea. Watch it right there. Helterbrand giving up the foul. The number 6 player had nowhere to go in that situation.
And another foul here committed by the Philippines.
Now he's a very active player, the veteran 29-year-old Kim Joo-sung.
I think naririnig nyo si Yang Giao. Ano? Hindi ko lang pwede ulitin yung mga sinisigaw niya.
Now, twin tower combination here from Korea with Kim Joo-sung 6'9" and Ha 7'3". But always shooters ready to take the outside shot. Here's
a turnover.
Ha is not is doing
doing us a favor.
That's right.
By being on the floor. That's the irony of it all.
Exactly.
Here's Helterbrand for 3. In and out.
Still nothing from Helterbrand.
It's still an 8-point game. And a back pass there. Kang for 3.
That's a rhythm shot, but nothing there.
It's an air ball. Norwood on the move. He steps on the gas.
And
Norwood still has the basketball. And he gets the layup plus the foul.
Gabe Norwood keeping in step with the Korea defenders. And elevating for the shot. You watch it right here. A lot of attempts by Korea to stop him.
Norwood saw the opening. Goes up. There's the foul. Basket is good. And a foul against Yang Hee-jung.
Tremendous elevation by Gabe Norwood, Rookie of the Year in the PBA. And the 2008 first round overall draft pick.
And Power 8 Team Pilipinas, Kunita, really maximizing open court opportunities in this game.
Oh, that has to be. You know, use quickness. Don't let the defense set up. Oh, but you've got to score those free throws.
So 6-point game in favor of Korea. Under 5 minutes to go in the third period. Pick and roll here. Drop pass. And somebody can be called for a 3-second violation just about now. 6 to shoot. And a nice block by Baguio. 3 to shoot. Shot clock winding down. 1 to shoot. Runner. No go.
Great defense by Team Pilipinas.
Here's Baguio in the open court. And he scores.
Korea cannot defend him.
Cyrus Baguio with 12 points to lead the way for the Philippines.
You know, I think the Koreans are looking at Cyrus Baguio and what he's going to do next.
They're in awe. We'll be right back after this timeout.
I'm home! Sorry mo traffic eh.
No worries. 887-8888. Hello, KFC delivery? 1 mom's back meal.
Delivery?
I called KFC na.
Oh!
887-8888.
They've made their own storybook endings. Now, it's their turn to open a new chapter. Times change, but the brotherhood remains.
Wow! Ang sarap ng kain nila.
Tingnan mo yung kumakain ng garlic mison. Dude, umuya ka naman.
Yung girl na nag-sweet yakiniku, kala ko diet siya.
Eh, yung kumakain ng spicy teriyaki, may contest ba? They look so happy. We've done our job.
Kaya relax na tayo.
Eto, pa-harp-harp na lang. Hangout sa clouds.
Koriko! Big beefy goodness in 3 flavors. Tokyo meatballs.
Well, now action is picking up for the Philippines. We are banging on the door. Led by the third quarter onslaught by Cyrus Baguio. We're down by just 4, 40-36, with under 4 minutes remaining in the third.
Full court pressure here by the Philippines, and that's going to delay the entry pass to the man in the middle. 10 seconds on the shot clock, and counting.
Good defense there by Pennisi.
Excellent defense. Oh, but they give the ball back to South Korea. Nick Pennisi, great defense. He's earning his minutes on the floor, not because of his three-point shooting, but because of his defense in the interior. And again, you hear Coach Yang Yao venting his frustration.
Hanggang Pampanga yata dinig si Coach Yang. So 4-point game for Korea.
I think it's important for Pennisi to neutralize Lee Min-soo, number 15. There's a switch. Lee Min-soo now is open for a shot.
Although he has really caused a lot of damage. He had that 9-point cluster in the second period.
Well, there was a switch that time and Nick Pennisi got lost in the switcheroo.
So back to a 6-point ball game in favor of Korea with 3:08 remaining in the third. Norwood with the basketball. Norwood, Sunny Thoss, 15-footer, can't get the roll. Under 3 minutes remaining in the third. We no longer see the 7-3 behemoth on the floor. And a miss there by Kim, and a loose ball foul against Baguio.
In that situation, you had 3 white shirts underneath the boards and just 1 black shirt. And the foul was called on Cyrus Baguio. So a situation like that, you've got to know where the offensive player is so you can box him out. Do not allow him the space to go for the offensive rebound. Penalty situation in effect. I think Korea is going to shoot free throws. Yes. 2:47 to go. Major run here by the Philippines. Brought down that lead to 4.
Biggest lead was at 13 points back in the first half.
We haven't seen Asi Taulava play in this quarter. I think Coach Yeng Diao is preserving him for the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Asi played major minutes last night in that second half rally by the Philippines to win over Japan. And so far, we haven't seen Japeth Aguilar in action. He is hurt. Did not see action as well last night. James Yap back on the floor with Kerby Raymundo, Gabe Norwood, Willie Miller, and Nick Pennisi. And here's Norwood, 15-footer on the way. Gabe's outside shot has not worked in this tournament so far.
No second chance opportunity for the Philippines.
And that's an offensive foul.
Yes, without a doubt.
Against Kim Jo-sung.
Very rough play there by the Korean player trying to seal. Babyface Gabe Norwood, you know, when he flashes that smile on the dimple show, referees are not going to call the foul against him. Yung kalaban ang matatawagan. Yan.
Now here's Norwood on the move. Outside, Pennisi, open three. Yes, sir!
That's big. Pennisi now, I think he's got 3 triples in this game. He is now the Philippines' top 3-point shooter. I don't think James Yap has scored from the outside. I mean, from 3-point distance in this one yet. You watch when he gets hot.
And a foul against James Yap.
Herjie reminds me of a comedian in Philippine movies.
Ako ba'y tatanong ko ba kung sino yan?
Comic book character yata yun.
Comic books, ha? Okay.
Kenko yata ang pangalan.
Right now, this third quarter rally by the Philippines, no laughing matter. But the Koreans keeping the Philippines at bay. Steady free throw shooting, huh?
Yeah.
A little chit-chat here between Mick Pennisi and Kim Min-soo.
I don't know if Kim Min-soo spoke in Spanish or in Korean. He's half Argentinian.
And Kim Min-soo sits down.
You know, we've never seen Dong Jun Lee come into this game. He's Daniel Sandrin. He's the half-American player on the Korean team. He's been a fixture in the national team for many years.
Meantime, here's Dillinger. We're down by 7 points. Under 2 minutes to go. Kerby Raymundo at the post.
It's tough to score in the post against a team that's really much bigger than you.
A series of fakes. And that allowed Kim Jo-sung to score inside. So back to a 9-point lead for Korea, 48-39. And here's Kerby. And there's a reach and foul against the Koreans.
And that's what the Philippines has been waiting for. The whistle against Korea. But Korea is still not in the penalty. There's just 1:20 left in this quarter.
Pennisi for 3. That comes up short. It is Kerby with the putback. Pulling the Philippines within 7 points, 48-41. So 1:07 remaining in the third.
The Philippines can only cut down this lead to just 5 to start the fourth period. But nice getaway there from South Korea. They will not count the basket, but he will go to the line.
That's Yang Hee-jung, 6'4" swingman for Korea.
Well, he has certainly inflicted a lot of damage here against the Philippines. The thing about Korea is that they use different players, different roles for every game. For instance, this player number 12, he hardly made a difference in the first 2 games, but here he's really showing his wares. Number 12 player, Hee Young-yang.
Open court here, James Yap on the move. Blocked from behind, and there's going to be a push against Kerby Raymundo. nullifying that putback. A tough break here against the Philippines with less than a minute remaining in the third.
Well, the problem is, on that foul situation, it might be 2 free throws again for South Korea on the push.
I don't know. Wala naman yata tulak doon mula kay Kerby.
They will give 2 free throws. A good acting job there by the player number 13.
Oh, pang Korea novela.
By the way, I made a mistake earlier. Hee Young is one of the top scorers of Korea. In fact, he's averaging 16 points in this game, so he has unraveled his arsenal in the previous games. It's hard to keep track with all these new names. This lead has now ballooned to 10
Back
points.
to 10, 51-41, under a minute to play in the third. One thing the Philippines has done is to not let this game deteriorate into a rapid-fire shootout. 7 to shoot. Here's Dillinger. Dillinger, double team. He needs help. And he gets helped out by a call there. Foul against the Koreans.
And what you don't want to do is to bring the ball over to a corner where you can be doubled. This time the Koreans are in the penalty. By the way, I don't think Arwind Santos has played in this game.
Arwind started this game along with Kerby, Sonny Thoss, James Japeth Miller, but we haven't seen him since.
Yeah.
That's right.
And this is the point that we were making about the free throws. Philippines cannot be consistent in scoring from the line. That's something the Philippines really needs to work on.
But Dillinger gets a split, pulling down the deficit to single digits, 51-42. Time winding down in the third. And Lee Jung-suk organizing the offense here. He has the basketball. Lee steps on the brakes. And a missed three there for Young. 10 seconds remaining here in the third. Dillinger with nowhere to go, and the ball stays with the Philippines, so they can write the last sentence of the third chapter with this final possession. Miller will start the play with 6 seconds remaining in the third. Dillinger with a fake. Dillinger with the drive, and the layup is good. And that's exactly what we wanted to happen. Philippines getting the last say here in the third. Carry over some momentum going into the fourth. Big Pennisi hitting critical threes in the third period to keep Team Pilipinas within striking distance.
You watch Jared Dillinger getting Kim Joo-sung off his feet and then driving strong using the left hand.
Icy. Creamy. Chewy. With chunky real bits. Treat yourself to the new KFC Crushers. Get crushed.
They've made their own storybook endings. Now, it's their turn to open a new chapter. Times change, but the brotherhood remains.
Wow! Ang sarap ng kain nila.
Tingnan mo yung kumakain ng garlic miso. Dude, umuya ka naman.
Yung girl na nag-sweet yakiniku, kala ko diet siya.
Yung kumakain ng spicy teriyaki, may contest ba? They look so happy. We've done our job.
Kaya relax na tayo.
Eto, pa-harp-harp na lang. Hangout sa clouds.
Koriko! Big beefy goodness in 3 flavors. Tokyo Tokyo Big Bowls.
Hi, this is Gabe Norwood of the RP National Team. Please support Powerade Team Filipinas as we embark on our new challenge at the 2009 FIBA Asia Championships. Our team, our game on BTV.
You're watching the FIBA Asia Men's Basketball Championship live from Tianjin, China over CS9 and BTV. Magandang gabi po Manila, magandang gabi Philippines. Miko Halili alongside Enric Cano, Senyor Kinito Henson. And so far, the Philippines staying within shouting distance here as we open the fourth quarter.
Asi Taulava back on the floor here for the Philippines. Should make a difference here in the middle.
Dillinger, James Yap, and out of Asi. Asi getting a lot of rest in the second half, so he should be fresh here for the fourth. Here's a tough break, the ball hitting the foot of Kerby Raymundo.
Botched play there. I think it's important also for the Philippines to get James Yap going offensively. Once he starts rattling in those three-pointers, that could be a big complexion changer.
Young, and now over to Kang. Kang, oh, he's in trouble. That should be a traveling violation. There you go. Kang Byung-hun caught dancing to the wrong song. Let's see if the Philippines can capitalize in the early moments of the fourth. Miller orchestrating. James Yap for three. Straight but short. Rebound for Kang Byung-hun. And now Young over to Kim. Kim against Kerby Raymundo. Kim with a height advantage. That's Kim Jo-sung. And a strong move but unsuccessful. Offensive rebound for Korea.
Small man getting to the ball. And that's what you call hustle.
Asi clears the rebound. And Miller sends that ball over to Dillinger. And that's a blocking foul against Kang Byung-hun.
So no scoring yet here in the fourth period.
Substitution here. Yang Dong-gun is back in the game, replacing Lee Jung-suk. Actually, he replaced Kang Byung-hun, who committed a foul moments ago. Meantime, here's Dillinger with the basketball. 8.5 remaining in the fourth and final quarter.
Nice pick and roll there.
Asi stepping up, stepping out, stepping in, and scores off the glass.
Nice dribbling. Exhibition there by Asi Taulava. Threw off the defense completely. I know the defense thought he was going to pass.
Just a 5-point game here in the fourth. A nice fake.
That's not going to do it. Shot clock down to, oh, they reset the shot clock. Oh, look at that. I was surprised they reset the shot clock. Oh, easy 2 points there by James Yap. Great pass there.
You know, we're waiting for Power 8 Team Pilipinas to put up one big run here. Just one big run to get us over the hump and maybe push us ahead for good. Meantime,
and that can happen.
Koreans going to the post unsuccessfully.
Tell you, Asi Taulava is such a power now in the interior, in the same way that Pennisi was in the third period.
Philippines down by 5. Willie Miller fires, open shot. Kerby with a rebound. Put back is no good. Tip in by Miller, no good. Kerby battling hard to get the basketball. And there's a block from behind by Dillinger, and a whistle is blown. Yang Hee-jung securing the rebound. And there's Yang. There's a block by Dillinger, and there's too much arm contact on the part of Dillinger.
And they're going to give him 2 free throws in the act of shooting.
You get the feeling that the Team Pilipinas needs a string of baskets, maybe 3 straight field goals to really get going here in the fourth quarter as Kerby Raymundo sits down.
Well, Cyrus Baguio is back in the game. Coach Yang Diao is now looking for firepower off the bench.
Firepower in the open court.
If Willie Miller can get hot, if James Yap can get hot, now they're both on the floor along with Cyrus Baguio.
And Cyrus also has that ability to create turnovers. His ability in disrupting the passing lanes.
He's so consistent in making those free throws in South Korea.
This is a Group A showdown between 2 undefeated teams.
Again, what will happen here is the first 3 teams ranked in win-loss records in Group A will face the top 3 teams in Group B. And and that would be Iran, Chinese Taipei, and Kuwait.
Nice move by Asi Thoss, and Taulava is a force inside. Asi doing positive things on offense and on defense, and it's a 5-point game.
Well, Ha is back on the floor, and Asi Taulava really going to have his hands full now. Oh, but good defense against Ha. This is a nightmare game for the former Portland Trail Blazer. Philippines has really studied his moves. Coach Yengia must be credited for putting together a tremendous defense against this big man.
Here's Miller.
Still can't get the ball to fall from medium range.
Tough defense here by Team Pilipinas. Here comes Baguio in the open court, and the gym erupts. And here's Dillinger on the run. And that's going to be a loose ball foul against Baguio.
Those pull-up jumpers are very, very difficult to convert. And Dillinger missing.
Miller also missed one earlier.
Oh, yes. A lot of heartbreaking misses here for the Philippines, and still we're just 5 points down. Despite the missed free throws and the missed open jumpers of the Philippines, we are within striking distance. There's still a lot of time left.
5:54 remaining in the fourth. Lee Jung-suk in motion, and he gets away for the layup. Well, it's back to a 7-point lead for Korea, 57-50. As we near the halfway mark of the fourth and final quarter. Miller, Asi. Ball tapped away, ends up with Dillinger. 8 to shoot. Dillinger is fouled.
Well, Dillinger is collecting a lot of fouls here from the Korean defenders, which is a great thing. Get Korea in the penalty situation, then we start shooting free throws. And let's hope that we convert.
Here's Dillinger. On the right side, Dillinger on the move. That's tough, going up against 3 Korean defenders on that play.
Philippines cannot finish. And here's another foul against the Philippines. We should be over the limit by now, or close to it.
Nick Pennisi sent back in.
That's probably our 4th team foul. So Asi Taulava will sit down. Good D there by Dillinger, forcing
Yang Hee-jung
to lose control.
Yang Hee-jung has seen a lot of touches here. Now here's Asi Thoss. Really had to think twice. When you have 7'3" Ha Jung-jin in front of you, you really will think twice, thrice, 4 times even.
Well, even if you try to fake him off,
he doesn't need to bite it to your fake.
Even if his feet leave the ground, okay lang. He's still 7'3".
All right, here's Pennisi. Baguio. Baguio has been the spark plug here for Team Pilipinas. Asi Thoss for 3 from the corner.
What a time for the Philippines to miss from 3-point distance.
Lee Jung-suk slowing things down. And Ha Xing-jin with the basketball. Back to Ha. Will not be denied on the curl.
Well, if he's on the move, it's difficult to stop him. Nice quick pass. And the ball didn't stay with him very long.
Back to a 9-point lead for Korea as we approach the last 4 minutes of the game. Dillinger for 3. Boy, we need a basket here. Helterbrand with a rebound. Pennisi thought about it. Pennisi fires a 3. No, sir. And the ball ends up with the Koreans with under 4 minutes remaining, and they're up by 9. Yang. And the ball ends up with Lee for 3. No go. Pennisi with a rebound. Baguio on the move. And Baguio is fouled immediately. And that's how much respect Baguio has generated so far in the last 3 games. Now Dillinger will sit down. Norwood is back in the game. And for Korea, Kim Joo-sung is also sent back in to replace the Giant.
3-point shooter's gone cold here for the Philippines. James Yap sitting down. And two of the three-point shooters on the floor. Willie Miller is sitting down.
Here's Thoss. And Thoss will take two. Here's that move by the boss, Sonny Thoss. Is the hero, one of the heroes of last night's victory against Japan.
Looks like Korea still is not in the penalty, and they're going to rule it as not in the act of shooting. JayJay Helterbrand on the floor. He hasn't hit a three-point basket yet.
Helterbrand, Norwood. Norwood scores off a nice inbound by JayJay Helterbrand, so we're within 7 points with more than enough time to overcome that deficit.
You also notice that Hai's now sitting on the bench.
Yang Gun-dun.
Very critical stage in this game now.
Yang on the move. Bounce pass. Big jumper by Kim Joo-sung.
Oh, the veteran delivering.
So it's back to a 61-52 advantage for Korea with 3 minutes remaining in the fourth. Helterbrand with the basketball. Cross-court pass, Pennisi for three. We need this. It won't drop. It will stay with the Philippines with 2:47 remaining in the fourth. Helterbrand firing it over to Sonny Thoss. Here's Norwood. Norwood to Helterbrand on the right side. Helterbrand. Sonny Thoss, short. And now time is becoming a factor in this game with Korea holding on to a 61-52 lead. Near turnover. Kim again, and he connects again.
He's such a steady player. I mean, he's seen a lot of international competition. Remember, he and Bang are remnants of the 2002 Asian Games champion team from South Korea. Almost a turnover here against the Philippines, but they'll get the ball back.
2:07 remaining in the fourth. And Kirito, implications of the outcome of this game.
Well, if the Philippines goes on to lose this one, then the Philippines will finish number 2 in Group A. And the number 2 in Group B is Chinese Taipei. And here is another turnover against the Philippines. So there will be a rest day tomorrow in FIBA Asia in the FIBA Asia Championships in Tianjin. On Monday, the Philippines will go up against the number 2 in Group B, and that will be Chinese Taipei. And that's very, very critical. That game could determine who between Chinese Taipei and the Philippines will end up 3rd or 4th in the quarterfinals. If Philippines loses that one, Philippines could end up number 4 in the quarterfinals, meaning it will play number 1 from Group C and D, and that could be China. You don't want to be in a situation in a knockout game, the quarterfinals, against China. So it's important that the Philippines, should the Philippines lose this one, beats Chinese Taipei.
And a nice drive there by number 7, Yang Dong-gun. Dry spell again, hitting our outside shooters, similar to what happened in the second period. And here's James Yap for 3.
Still can't get the basket from that distance.
And the way we've missed our outside shots, and we're down 63-52. I mean, you have to give credit to our defense.
Oh, without a doubt, holding Korea to 63 points, that's a major achievement. And, you know, we're not even talking about the missed free throws. Let's discount that. Let's just take a look at how many outside shots that we missed and open jumpers. And if we had converted even half of what we had missed, I dare say we might have even been ahead at this point.
Against Japan, Korea scored 95 points. They won that game 95-74.
So credit to Coach Yang Giao's defense. I think very clearly it worked here. I think it took away a lot of the three-point shooting of South Korea. That's a lethal part of their arsenal. I also thought that Ha was taken away from his game. I mean, before this game, Ha was hitting 90% from the floor.
35 seconds remaining in the fourth. Baguio's block. Baguio hangs in the air.
And he scores.
Cyrus Baguio becoming one of the most exciting players, not just in Group A, but in the tournament, becoming a fan favorite here in Tianjin. That's a foul given up by James Yap.
Well, number 12 player is just too slippery. He has all the moves. He can hit from three-point distance. He's got the height. He is 6'4", averaging 16 points before this game, and 5 fouls already for James Yap. Hardly contributing in offense. This was his off day. You give him that, but you're not going to see too many off days for James Yap. Look at how many points he has scored, and from the free throw line, he's 7 out of 8. Make that 8 out of 9. Entering this game, Young was 4 out of 8 from three-point distance. South Korea, 3 players hitting 50% or over from three-point distance.
They've shot well in general.
Yeah.
Whether it's from two-point line or three-point line in this tournament. Right now, Korea will remain undefeated with only 7 seconds remaining here. JayJay Helterbrand looking for a shot. The tip-in is good for Baguio. That will peg the final score. So the Koreans hanging on to their lead despite repeated rallies by the Philippines, and we'll be back to break down this ball game in a few messages.
Ever wonder how the greatest chefs cook their masterpiece? What makes me wonder more is how they serve it. With style, with grace, with elegance, with passion. Now I know why they choose the best Bormioli Roco plates. It's like a canvas for their culinary masterpiece. That's why Bormioli Roco has so much pride with their plates. With superior quality for professional cooking, it gives harmony to a chef's culinary masterpiece. Bormioli Roco brings harmony to your table.
I play hard every day. Start in practice and then bring it in the game. I wanted to win everything, so I think that's the best that I can contribute with the team. We just have to win every game so we can make it to the next tournament.
Playing shooting guard, 5'11", number 11.
My name is Willie Miller. We support Powerade Team Pilipinas.
Well, the Philippines absorbing its first loss here in the FIBA Asia Championship, bowing to a Korean team that really held on to their lead. 69-56 was the final score. Cyrus Baguio leading the way for the Philippines with 16 scintillating points. We just did not have enough outside firepower to really get things together in this game. Willie Miller, our leading rebounder, with 9 rebounds.
You know, checking out the stats, Miko, glaring disparity as we now see the team standings in Group A. Philippines falling to number 2 with a 2-1 record. And we'll be playing Chinese Taipei on Monday. and that will start another round of 3 games going up against teams from Group B. Now, Philippines giving up 27 free throw attempts to South Korea, and Korea hitting 19 of those 27 against our 6 of 11.
So join us on Monday on behalf of our CS9 broadcast team and my partner El Decano, Senor Quinito Henson. I'm Miko Alili saying good night, and let's support Powerade Team Pilipinas when we resume action on Monday. Good night.